there's always certain alignments in the stars. In our lifetime, in the lifetime of our parents and their grandparents, this has not occurred. From the best I can understand from the greatest of astrologers who understand astrological dimensions of the universe, this last occurred in 1844 and 1853. It hasn't occurred since then, nor will occur again in our lifetimes for a while. This is the alignment of certain stars, for instance, that were seen, which Zoroastrian astrologers, the Magi, saw, for instance, at the birth of Jesus, when in fact it was actually two stars that came together so closely it seemed like this bright star from the east. But it's always happened because everything is interrelated in the universe. The stars, we are. In fact, right in our hemoglobin, at the center of our hemoglobin are iron, which are only born in supernovas. So our entire being is a reflection of the stars, literal stars from supernovas. And so this period that will begin November 2nd, and as I'm sharing this, I'll be deep with relatives in a healing ceremony on Chickasaw Nation territory in Tennessee, right at the heart of the Trail of Tears. We will be praying there that this process that will begin on this day, I'm sharing this with you here, November 2nd, through December 21st will be one of the most intensive times spiritually our human family has ever gone through in our memory, in terms of ourselves, our parents and grandparents, and those some generations yet to come after us. So we should prepare ourselves, because this period is going to be very, very spiritually intense. Very spiritually intense. And in fact, along with this, we are having from December 11th through December 22nd, what we're calling enlightening our way together. A series of convergences during this time, concluding on December 22nd as we step into a whole new era, a whole new day that shall not be followed by night, a time that we will see peace on earth begin before or on around 2030. But from what we're seeing, what we're facing, we have a choice to either do it sooner or later. The later, of course, comes with a lot of our human family. But it's our choice, because we are, you and I are, every human being is a spiritual representative of everyone who's gone before them. So everyone who's ever existed on the face of Mother Earth is right here together, right now, reflected in their spirit, which is each and every human being. And each and every one of us is sovereignty, ancient and perishable and everlasting. And that's our true spiritual reality. It's the time of arising from our adolescence into our spiritual maturity is now, at this time. And so, let us join our prayers today on November 2nd, however you might believe, to be able to pray for those relatives who are in extreme poverty, with over 150 million who have joined extreme poverty during these last months, while others have gained billions and billions upon dollars. So this is about balancing extremes of wealth and poverty. It's about understanding the wings of humanity in our tube. Eagle has two wings. One is male and one is female. So both wings of that eagle have equal power, respect, and honor. The eagle of humanity will never, ever soar to its long promised height of glory. At the same time, once we understand the oneness, the prior unity and oneness of the human family, all forms of prejudice of whatever kind, having us feel better or less than another human being, is completely unacceptable and must be eliminated. And as well, every human being has a right to clean water, has a right to a universal education for every human child. Because each of us is a sacred being. And so that is what we're praying for today. Right now, as I share this on Chickasaw Nation territory, we're going to go deeply, deeply, deeply into the heart of this pain and suffering, intergenerational trauma. Go deeply down, 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 down to the cauldrons of hurt and pain, but the deepest is the grief, the unresolved grief, the tears. Tears. Because at the very hearts of water, tears, the grief. Goes beyond much deeper than the rage, the anger, and deep, deep fear and terror of what's happening. It's a heart of it's water, it's those tears. It's not easy to get to. And we're going to do work at that because we realize that it is time to become free and severed from all save our Creator, from all save our higher power. To free ourselves from the past, to step into our new future as a newly awakened human family. And I want to share too, that while these times in the past have signalized the coming of a great, great sacred spiritual messenger, this is the time that Crazy Horse really pictured it so well. This is the time of one heart and one mind in many bodies. That is, there's not just one spiritual umbilical cord opening up to transform the earth and all living things in the whole universe. In fact, now is the time for each of us to recognize we are spiritual umbilical cords from the spiritual world that bring in this world of time and space love and compassion and healing. And the degree we purify our own hearts and minds will be the degree we'll be able to be pure, the spiritual and biblical force to transform this physical world of time and space, which is the destiny of our human family at this time. And it's long been promised and prophesied across the Americas in all our sacred prophecies and all sacred prophecies of all sacred traditions to teach love and respect, kindness and compassion. When Jesus said, in the Lord's Prayer, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, is exactly what's happened. And it's been the same message that's been brought to us over and over in our human history. And this is the time when all those sacred prophecies are being manifested. So, sister, on November 2nd, when you share this, I ask you to share with me as we prepare ourselves for these coming days. These coming days of transformation, of deep, deep transformation. And those that chose to join us, for those who choose to join us, wonderful. For those relatives who would like to see how it turns out, that's wonderful too. But I can tell you, I look forward to visiting again on December 22nd. We'll see what our beloved will come with Spirit. Hallelujah, Shante Washelo, Shimano Hemedo, Chiduba Sapa Hemedo, Hallelujah, Shante Washte. My names are Shimano and Chiduba Sapa. And I stand responsible for the Creator, for my words and my action. Hallelujah, Shante Washte.
Family, I introduce you to Brock Pierce, the presidential candidate for 2020.
Thank you. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Chief Phil Lane, my adopted uncle, who has been providing me with spiritual guidance and teachings of the indigenous ways of the Native Americans. He talks about a few things in here that are core to the message that this campaign has attempted to bring to light: the importance of love. As I've said many times, I can summarize why I'm running for office in one word. That word is love. Love for this country. Love for everyone that lives here. At a time where we need that, to fear less and to love more, because love is the answer. Love is. Whatever your spiritual beliefs, God is love. It is that simple. Fear or love. When fear is present, God is hidden from us. When we're operating from our heart, from a state of love, God can shine through us. And we are being tested right now. We are being tested, and we only have the power to change ourselves. But by being our best selves, by operating from that place of love, we have the ability to inspire others. And I remind us to be the change we wish to see in the world. And as we become our best selves, we can collectively become our best selves. And as I've so often stated, life is largely about acting according to our conscience, to do what we feel is right every day and every night, especially this night. Mm-hmm. Happy Election Day. Yeah. Happy Election Day. Today is a day where the American people are going to choose again our elected officials, our government, that thing that governs over us, which is why it is so important that we vote our conscience. If we are voting out of fear, we are continuing this perpetual cycle, this loop that we've found ourselves in. This thing that is not serving us any longer. What has served us in the past will not serve us in the future. As Albert Einstein is often credited with saying, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Things will not change until we change, until we start to act according to our conscience. And as we do that individually, we can begin to do that collectively, and we can bring the necessary change that the world needs right now. Whatever happens tonight, I pray that the American people have compassion, patience, respect for whatever the outcome is, because we are going to be tested tonight, this next week, this next month. And I pray we make good decisions. I pray that we find to respect each other's differences. Again, thank God we're all different. Our differences are what makes us special. Our differences are what allow us to progress as a society. And I hope that this is the beginning of a very progressive age, an age of truth, an age of love, an age of enlightenment. And so thank you all for being here in my new home in Washington, D.C. I'm not going anywhere. But it's not really mine. I don't consider any of the things that I have, I don't consider my money, my possessions to be mine. I am just a temporary steward or custodian of these things. And I use these things for all of us. This is a space for anyone that wants to bring people together, to engage in Socratic learning, a safe space where we can discuss our different perspectives, and through those dignified, respected conversations, we can understand each other's perspective, the perspective that the other party holds. And through that understanding, we can begin to build bridges. We can find compromise. We can find a collective path forward. Right now, these United States of America feel like the divided states of America. We are divided politically, families and friendships breaking down over different perspectives. We're divided economically. We're divided racially, religiously, while we simultaneously face real existential threats environmentally, technologically, pandemically, conflicts with other nation states. We have one earth that we share, and it is imperative that we find a collective path forward, not just in this nation, but throughout this world. We are being tested. And I encourage each of us to continue to look inward, to understand what are our values, what are our principles, not to focus on the things that we're against, but the things that we stand for. To remember to go back to love and to find the positive things. It affects your being. It affects your vibration, your frequency, and the frequency. To respect each person's sovereignty. And so this house is a school to bring people together so that we can learn from each other. And so if you wish to use this space in the future, it is here for all of us to continue this great work together. And I'm so amazed to see the progress being made. We've had this property for about 3 months now. This is my third time here, and it is evolving rapidly, hopefully at the same rate that we're evolving independently and collectively. And so thank you, Charles, for this wonderful work and the speed at which it's happening. It's coming together beautifully. So cool. Woo! This property was built in 1894 and named after the 14th president of the United States of America, the only president to ever be elected from New Hampshire. Let's live free or die, live and let live. And so named after Franklin Pierce. I don't think I had a choice of all the properties here. This felt like a very good one. Here in Ward 6 as well, right on the border of challenging, you know.
We're going to hear more about.
Challenges here. We're going to hear more about the work that we can do here in D.C. So I am here. I'm committed to this city. I will be continually showing up and doing all that I can to serve this country. I'm committed to serving this country in every way I possibly can.
Wow. Now you guys, now you know why I said yes. You said yes. So come on in. Oh my God, Trent, you made it. Come on, guys. sit on the stairs, get comfortable. We have a small program. Brock has a chance to now hear. You want to sit in that chair? Comfortable for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have chairs coming in. Ashley, I thought we had chairs. Do we have chairs?
There are chairs.
If we can grab some chairs, right, that'd be great. So guys, let me share with you something that is so powerful. I'm so happy that Brock gets to hear from some of the people that have touched my life so deeply. I am Carla Ballard. I am the vice presidential candidate, as I mentioned, running alongside Brock Pierce. And it has been my honor, my pleasure to say yes to something that a lot of my family had major problems with, that I was not saying yes to Biden. And interestingly enough, you're just assuming that African Americans are going to say yes to a Democratic ticket. I've always been an independent. I am proud to be an independent. Yeah. But I have two other people that you're going to meet in a moment that are also proud that I said yes to that and have very clear words that they're going to share. But before I do that, let me introduce to you to someone I just recently met that has spent a lot of her time in Ward 8 in Southeast. And she has been mind-blowing to me in terms of her work and her commitment. No other than Onari. So we are going to hear a little video from the founder of Healing Broken Wings. I met her with Councilman Trayvon White, who is also running another term for Ward 8. And I'm so proud of both of them and all the work that they've been doing, because you're going to hear from two people who I spent a lot of time with in Congress Park, a very important housing development within our community in Ward 8. But first, without any further ado, Onari. Thank you. We're going to hear the video first. I don't think the sound's on. We're going to have to play that again. This here. We can't hear the sound. Is Adrian here? Oh.
Yourself, and then everything that you're going through, and all the mess that you've been through, and everybody that you pissed off at, and everybody that you don't like, picture on Facebook and Instagram, and they're like you were strong and you know. I want to reach you all yourself. And I want you to say yourself, and sometimes they're walking behind me as broken as I am, and it's big pieces of me in the sky. I ain't got to worry about being all love. I ain't got to worry about being hurt. I ain't got to worry about who that is. I ain't worried about who ain't told my baby because I'm breathing and I was talking to that shit. What I'm worried about is taking one piece of me that's better and I'm staying in it.
See what you say. Last thing, and 22 is
limited vendors with verbally,
They are more limited on their own businesses than you know. They are motivated to get to the next level than you know. Please understand that if these people are open to tell you the 6 degrees of separate, these kids are probably about 2 of them. Everybody in this room, you probably get to somebody in this room you just want to be connected. Some of these women have full-time jobs doing one thing, a part-time job doing something totally different, the wealth creation, business development. So I'm going around the talk with people, just like, even though my mom had these great visions of these here, I found my place to be in support. And I'm like, you know what, I'm really good at support. Never person, there we go. There's no work to replace. Healing broken wings. The universe has a way to connect us to certain people. And if you haven't remember all who you say, be careful when you step on going out, you're going to see it come back down. But I believe it's a full circle environment.
Woo! Thank you all. Thank you all. I'm pleasured to be here this evening because being the founder of Healing Broken Wings Incorporated became a dream of mine on the heels of being a mother of sons. And I'm a true believer that if we can heal the woman, we can heal the family. And so with that being said, I've had many conversations with many people that has fallen on deaf ears. But when I had the pleasure to meet Carla and Brock, they listened to what I had to say. They listened to the fact that I've been fighting and beating the pavement for quite some time now, wanting to help the women and the men and the Ward 8 community more than anything in DC, because that is our impoverished area. There are many people that need support, but we need to help those families that can't help themselves more than any. And so with that being said, I've had long conversations with Carla, and her heart is in service. And so is Brock's. Their heart is in giving back. Their heart is in making sure that people that have a voice, but maybe not the platform, or people that have a vision, but maybe not the understanding, have that support. And so we've come up with an idea to take my dreams of helping women into a mentorship program. We're gonna build it out and build it up. We're not gonna give you too much right now, but realistically, we wanna be able to put people in position to succeed. We want people to be able to not only have that thought in their mind, but be able to have that thought come out their mouth. A lot of people know what they want, but they don't know how to achieve it or receive it because they just don't have the understanding. And so there's some great things to come. We're going to do some wonderful things in the city, and we're going to provide some opportunities for people that they didn't even really believe that they can do themselves. So I thank you both and look forward to wonderful things.
Thank you so much, Amari. I'll take this.
Yep.
So 2 more speakers, and then
Got
Brock
it.
and I are going to make some announcements about what's to come in the future. All right, so let me just introduce to you someone that's been in my life literally for 20 years. I met her in Congress Park. I used to work at 1313 Congress Street, which was the rental office at the time until we got a nicer one, in housing development that I mentioned to you in Ward 8. And this little girl, she was 9 years old, she'd come in, and I was trying to figure out a way to connect with her because she was very shy. She didn't want to talk to anyone. So I found Walt Disney had literally donated a whole vat of Walt Disney books. So I grabbed one of the Walt Disney books. I said, this could be it. So I just said, hey, do you want me to read to you? And so she was open to it. And then I just kept reading to her. And then she would giggle and I would giggle. And we just had the best time. And we're still giggling 20 years later. Daquan Wright. Take your jacket off. I know, she's still shy, she said. No, I don't want to take my jacket off. I'm taking that down. So what we talked about, Daquan reading, is, do you have that? Do you want to read? Yes. Or speak? Okay. So I'm going to ask her a few questions. Huh? You are? Oh, you're real shy. Okay. So I'm going to hold her because she's really shy. All right. So what was powerful is the journey we both had to go through together, right? Yeah. So that's how we can break the ice. We can talk about what was your impression when our journey together over 20 years. That's where we'll start.
Okay.
And she's like, okay. All right, let's start with, when was that day? Do you remember that day we first met?
Here comes.
You have to say a little something. Well, okay, go ahead. You got this.
What I can say is that you made a big difference in my life. I didn't believe in a lot of things until I met Carla. Once I met Carla, I believed that I could do anything that was possible. Any dream that I wanted, I could succeed to.
We also, I used to call her, what was the nickname I gave you?
Little HT.
Do you all have any idea what little HT might be? It's called Harriet Tubman. And I said that because I truly believe in, and you know why I keep saying Antoine, I say Antoine, right? But one of the things that I recalled in being in Congress Park is we got to see a lot of violence, right? Antoine, I remember you coming in bleeding after someone got high on PCP and just started shooting up the community. And Antoine and I were like this. So he was rolling in with blood dripping. And I had to go through seeing so much stuff, knowing my mentee was going through so much stuff. But I knew that she had a personality that was too powerful for anyone, anything, any environment to ever dictate how she was going to end up. So what we chose to do was to take her into environments that were counter what she experienced. So where did we go in Delaware? Right. So I brought her
Your
to,
family house.
and it was crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was
I
crazy.
used to go gerbil shopping at Clark's house.
What do we do?
Gerbil shopping.
So
They had
we-
a lot of gerbils at their house.
Yes.
Every time I went there, I didn't want to leave without a gerbil.
Okay.
So sometimes I leave with two.
Literally, right? So part of it, guys, is the different environments, right? That we have the ability to get literally people who normally, quote unquote, you would never have as a friend or what have you. We have to break down a lot of these preconceived notions about who's socializing with who. We have to put that to bed. Brock and I are committed to putting that to bed now. Even some of our own, okay? Even some of our own people in my community have an understanding. We call them bougie, right? And they don't want to necessarily go down to Congress Park or go to other places when they know they have cousins that are there. So we have to wrestle with this in our own community. Brock and I are committed. He lives in Puerto Rico, and he has no problem walking in any aspect of Puerto Rico. And yet he is, yes, blessed with financial means. But it doesn't matter, because as our uncle said, this is the season where we have to understand the value as human beings is equal, period. No matter what you have or don't have in your pocket, what we all do is bleed red.
Yeah.
What we all do is have a heartbeat, and that heart will continue to beat. My heart will continue to beat for you. Any last words?
I love you and I appreciate you.
I love you and I appreciate you too. Thank you. Yes. All right, you take your order. You know, I'm going to talk to her afterwards, but it's okay. That's our business. So let me please come and say hi to Daquan. She's also looking for a job and an opportunity. So I do want to put that on blast. Antoine, because you're going to introduce your new name. I'll never forget that time I got in this big SUV, big Suburban, black, tinted windows. Of course, if my father saw me doing that, he probably had a hot freaking heart attack, right? But yes, this is my brother, by the way. My brother from another mother, 35 years, Steve, who's been with me on this journey. But one of the things that we did was to just go to the park and really talk. And some of the things that he was sharing with me was more of what he wants to do with his life, what he was interested in doing with Man Inc., which is an organization he started. You'll hear a little bit about we had a chance to be in front of Mitch Daniels at a press conference. That was, I don't know how many years ago, 16 years, 17, 18 years ago. He used to be the OMB director under Bush. What was amazing about that time is we literally had the ability to be, thank you so much, Ashley. This is Ashley, everybody. You have to give Ashley major kudos. Oh, I can't do that. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it. Yeah? Okay. Well, all right. We had the opportunity to really get to know each other. I honestly felt so safe going in and out of Congress Park because I would say easily a bird and you, Antoine. I felt super safe. I felt like the little sister in many ways no one had. I was always being looked at, literally, in terms of protection, because you don't walk into Congress Park and not know somebody, especially you. Yes, there were times where it was really frightening. And there were times that I know, literally, I wish never happened. But I am so proud to introduce you as my brother in arms, somebody I know without a doubt. We can break the generational curse together, and we will. Everyone, Antoine Ball, come and say hi.
Knew you was gonna do it. Yes, ma'am.
So we have a chance. I'll hold it. Thank you, hon. So this is where the air is at. So we have a chance to hear about Antoine's life. And this is where I'm praying you all recognize that if you can go beyond judgment, because we've all done something that we're not proud of, and you begin to build relationships with people who might not be in your circle, you will be rich beyond measure. Please tell us your story, your hopes and dreams, and some of the things that we wish for our brothers and sisters.
Of course, Carla introduced me as Antoine Ball.
Mm-hmm.
When I went away, and I'll explain that to you guys in a second, I changed my name for religious reasons, and also I wanted a fresh start because my name was ringing certain bells in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? That I wish. No, I don't. I don't wish that didn't happen because I had to be who I was in order to become who I am.
Come on now.
So it was ringing certain bells in certain crowds, you know what I'm saying, that allowed Carter to come into our community and be protected. But then my mom went to prison when I was 13. The 6 of us. One of my brothers passed away. So it's 5 of us now. He got murdered in the same streets that we're trying to clean up. My mom went away, on drug charges. She had a bad addiction. Me and my brothers and sisters was left, out here to fend for ourselves. I mean, we lived in an abandoned apartment. It wasn't abandoned, but we kicked holes in the walls because the rental office told us we had to vacate. And, we kids, we was upset. So we kicked holes in the walls. And then they came back and told us, my bad, y'all don't gotta vacate. So now we in this apartment with holes in the walls everywhere. And we're living in here, me and my 4 brothers and sisters, because my oldest sister, she had moved out before my mom went to prison. So it was just us. And I think at that time I was 13. And that's when I got into the streets. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that getting in the streets was solely about me taking care of my brothers and sisters. There was some selfishness in it because this is what everybody was doing. And back then and now, a lot of us, we actually listen with our eyes. You know what I'm saying? What we see becomes our teacher. You know what I'm saying? Becomes our advisor. And in my situation, it became my life. So the things that I saw in our environment became my life. And trust me, this is definitely not a pat on the back, but I was good at it. And I thought that was all I was good at, until the STEP Foundation, an organization called the STEP Foundation, came into our community. I think it was strategies to elevate people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And he actually came and asked the community who was the people that the community respected. And my name came up. And he came to me and he said, guy named Harbo Stack came to me and said, what would it take? How much would it take to pay you to come over and do what I'm doing? You know, I ain't know no better at that time. You know, $10 an hour was a lot to me back then. So I said, oh, $10 an hour would get me, you know, and he said, done. You know, and I remember thinking, I should have said 15. but that was just the beginning, because at one point I had so many checks coming from different things that I was doing, speaking at schools and stuff like this, man, that I had them the truck that the sister talking about, I had them right here. Checks that I didn't even deposit yet. You know, and I used to show them off too. Look, y'all, checks right here. You know, so, and then my brother was murdered. Well, before that, my brother was murdered. For something that he had nothing to do with. And from that point, when I started my own organization, because we had me and the guy, although I give him credit for where I'm at now, man, because he sent me in that direction. We had some differences about what our community needed, and I'm from here. Now, I've watched my friends die on this corner, so I know. Ward 8, you know, I know exactly what we need in this community. So, not exactly, but things changed. But I had a pretty good idea, and I shared that with him, and it was slow walking. So I started my own company, and I began to tackle certain issues in our community. And then Carla came along. I'm talking about Carla was probably the youngest sister there, and she was, but me and her got along instantly. You know, we considered each other brothers and sisters instantly. I mean, we went and we talked about a lot of things, things I shared with Carla that I probably haven't shared with nobody yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not. You know, so the journey. Then I started me a for-profit with this thought in mind on how to change my community. My nonprofit was called Man Eat. It was an acronym for Making a Neighborhood Network. And my for-profit was SENIC. It was an acronym. I love acronyms, y'all. So yeah, for changing neighborhoods into communities, because it's a difference. And we learned that there's a difference between a neighborhood and a community. You know what I'm saying? The neighborhood is where, you got all this craziness happening. People don't bond together and look out for each other. You know, everybody, but the young guys, they're fighting to defend this neighborhood in the wrong way. A community is where everybody, everybody has looking in the same direction. They're trying to make, everything turn out the way that it's supposed to be. So with me and my nonprofit and for-profit, I put it together with all good intentions on changing things, like we used to talk about in all these meetings. I'm talking 4 meetings a day. I was speaking at the White House. What was that? The first Tuesday in every month.
Yep.
And my kufi was actually wetter than it is now from nervousness. I'm sweating like crazy up here. But so I guess what I really would like to say to the good brother, our
There he is, Brock.
soon to be president. Yeah. The Brock, I would like to say something to the brother. And I'm coming from Ward 8E, like the sister here. We have an issue in our community. And this issue is our young brothers is becoming not only murderers, but the murderers also. And I was in this situation. Don't think that these brothers can't be helped, because they can be helped. You know what I'm saying? There's ideas floating around here that will actually work. I haven't met the brother until today, but I know Carla. And I know if Carla is supporting this brother is what it is. I don't bite my tongue. I don't, with all due respect, kiss no behind. I'm gonna say exactly what the deal is, man. And we need you, brother. We need you, man. We need you to put that foot down of yours, man, and let's do this, Carla. We need you too. We always needed you, though. I'm telling you, I used to come to Carla, man. Carla, you need to talk to Hal. Hal need to do this and that in the community. I'm here. They came and they disrupted what I was doing. I know some people may think that that everybody say that they're innocent. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I was an angel my whole life. What I'm saying is that I used the things that I learned from the streets and I turned them around and I put them into something, man, positive. You know what I'm saying? And I studied the streets my whole entire life. You know what I'm saying? I think I got a good idea on how to fix it. I got a felony, so I can't run for president. You know? So I got to support the brother that's going to do what he's going to do for our city. You know, I sleep with my fist in the air. If you look at this fist right here, it's black, but everybody in here got a fist. You know, all of us got fists. You put them in the air, man, we can start something. They took me away from my work, put me in prison for 16 years. They asked for the death penalty for me. And I didn't even know DC had the death penalty. But they charged us with RICO. They came in and they disrupted our whole community. And the bad thing about it is it's going around election time. You know, that's when they come to our community. Like I said, the cookie jar start pulling lives out just to make it seem like, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. So they put me in prison for 16 years, put me in solitary confinement from 2005 all the way up to 2011, 23 hours a day in a small cell by myself. You know what I'm saying? Because they said that I was someone that they didn't want around the rest of the inmates, you know? And when they let me out, guess who changed DC jail? Me. Guess who stopped all the craziness in DC? No, not all of it, because they was going absolutely berserk over there. But me, you know what I'm saying? Because my name was clean, and that's what we need in this community. Keep your name clean, brother, because we need this. The youngest gonna pull to you. They're gonna be right there with you, you know? So.
Thank you,
I don't want to
Antoine.
talk.
No,
You know.
say your new name so everyone knows it.
My new name is Abdul Salam Bashar. Wa alaikum assalam. Yes, man.
I want to make sure you all know, you all are not going to be able to hear this, but you're going to hear this tonight. Our communities have started a position called VI, and all of you need to know this because Ward 8 is one of the most notorious communities in this country. Philly, where I'm from, is now known as Philadelphia, so we're dealing with our own battles right there. But there are VIs being deployed. You're one of them. Please share what a VI is so everyone knows. And if you, who's a systems designer, Brock is a systems designer, I want him to hear this because we often sit at our television trying to figure out how are we going to solve these issues. Will you hear me? Because right now, you're tied to influencers all over this world, from Dubai to Hollywood, all of our brothers and sisters. They need to hear this as well. What he has is an idea, is a strategy. He's also connected as hell to a group and population that we just write off. Share what I mean by that. So for our system designer in the room, he can understand that we could actually crack this nut.
Well, VI, it stands for violence interrupter. And a part of that is credible messengers, and I'm a credible messenger. And what we do is we, first of all, we have to know our feet have to be planted in the community, the neighborhoods rather, at some point, you know, whereas though if something happens in the community, we know that this guy over there in this community, they respect him. We need to talk to him, bring him in so we can get him, talk to the youngins. That's who it is. The youth, our youth, not their youth, our youth. And make sure that we, you know, try to stop these violence, because there's no more drive-bys. They're walking up to people and shoot them 1,000 times in their head. Yeah. This is what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? If they have the courage, you know what I'm saying, to do something like this, I mean, in ways you're cowards, but the courage to walk up to somebody and actually do this to somebody. You know what I'm saying? They can be helped. We can grab a hold of these young brothers, and that's what we're here for. We're here to grab a hold of these young brothers. Let them know that we've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Like this, I saw it on the West Wing. That's crazy. The West Wing, the show that used to be out. Anyway, that's crazy. But I seen it on that way he told his story, man. He said he was walking down the street one day and he fell in a hole. While in this hole, you know what I'm saying, he was trying to get out and stuff, man. He saw a man come over and he begged. And he said the guy had on what's that called? A stethoscope, the doctor thing. Mm-hmm. And he asked me, he said, help me out this hole. Doctor pull out a pen, start writing down something, drop it down in there. He grab it and look at it, and it's a prescription. So the brother flips out. Start flipping out, scratching, trying to get out this hole, man. You look up again, there's another guy up there. This time, this guy has on the little collar, to represent that he's a man of God or whatever the case may be. And he told him, man, help me get out this hole. Brother pull out a pen, get the writing, drop it down in there, it's a prayer. So the brother flips out, he loses it now. He passed out. By the time he wake up, it's another brother up there. This brother has his head turned backwards. He recognized him from being from the community. So now he gets into himself, his own style. Hey, what's up, man? Slim, get me out of this hole. I'm tired of being in this hole. And the brother step. He said, man, don't drop me down, no ladder down here, man. I'm tired of that. I need to get out of this hole. I've been down here forever. And the brother jumped down in the hole. And the brother flipped out. Man, now both of us stuck in this hole. I can't believe. He said, nah, brother, I've been in this hole before, and I know how to get out. And that's who I am. That's who VI's incredible messengers are. We've been where these young brothers was at, and we know the way out. I know the way out. So I'm
Thank
here.
you.
I got
Thank
my
you.
kids in there.
Thank you.
And I apologize for the way I speak, but I told Carl and everybody when I was speaking at the White House, excuse my words. I'm not trying to look for no Shakespearean style language. I need to talk like me. So if you have any problems understanding, just ask me, and I'll break it down like the Bonte. So.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, love. Love you. Love you. We haven't seen each other in I don't know how many years, but forever. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right, guys. So we are about ready to transition. Brock, if you come on back, we've got some announcements we want to make. And this is an amazing, amazing opportunity that we've all had to take this run and ride together. And it's probably on your mind, what's happening next? What are the next steps? And Brock and I both have an incredible vision, but Brock's going to share with you his for over the next 4 years. Okay.
Thank you for those wonderful messages, and we all need some healing.
Yeah.
And I'm committed to doing what I can to support the issues in Ward 8. I'm here. That is the place where I'm committed to supporting and doing what I can. So I look forward to continuing to understand the issues there and understand how I can be in service. Again, thank you all for being here. This has been quite the adventure. I feel like I succeeded on July 4th, the day that I announced my candidacy for President of the United States of America as an independent candidate, because I had to overcome all of the fear, the doubt, and the uncertainty associated with stepping into this ring. Oh, it tests you. Mm-hmm. Because stepping into this ring requires being prepared to give up everything, knowing that every single decision you've ever made in your life is going to be put under a magnifying scope. It's going to be scrutinized, and they're generally not very kind. And certainly if you're doing it from outside of the two-party system, you're not taking on one Goliath, you're taking on two. Mm-hmm. But I think it's what's important right now is if you're not happy with what you see, you have to do something about it. And I hope by my doing this, mm-hmm. I inspire others to do something about this. I hope that more of us that don't have a background in politics choose to get involved, because we need a government that is diverse. We need a government that is of, for, and by the people. We need a government of people that are showing up because they care. We need doctors and teachers and engineers and scientists and business people, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, farmers. We need everything so that we have all of the perspectives at the table. We need that diversity so that all the ideas are present, that everyone is represented. And so it's been quite the journey. We've campaigned all over the country. been to Alaska, Anchorage, Fairbanks, the first presidential candidate to visit Fairbanks on a campaign in 44 years.
Yeah.
Like showing up not just in the places where you need to because you're trying to win votes, but you're showing up because the whole country matters. Yeah. I look forward to visiting every part of this country, doing my best to understand all of the issues that we face. And so we've been to Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Wyoming, Standing Rock, North Dakota, Colorado, Utah, Kentucky. Idaho, Kentucky. We've been all over the country. And this morning, I started my day in Puerto Rico, which is where I live.
Puerto Rico.
And I live in Puerto Rico. And I live in Puerto Rico because I chose to live my life in service. And I chose to do everything I possibly could to support this country. And I knew this day was coming. And I needed some training first. I'm like, all right, what part of the country is hurting right now? And clearly Puerto Rico was one of those places, one of those forgotten places. And when Hurricane Maria hit, I knew, if not now, when. Right. And so I moved to Puerto Rico in the midst of the longest blackout in U.S. history, and I've done everything I possibly could. Supporting 50 different charities, bringing innovation to the islands, supporting a startup ecosystem, companies. Now, a number of them have raised over $1 million, supporting food security issues, energy renewable issues, manufacturing, everything I possibly can, up and down. And as a single individual, I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and I look forward to sharing that next year. Because in Puerto Rico, you don't talk, you walk. And once you've done the work, you can show people what's been done. You don't talk about what you're going to do because they will be skeptical of you. And I learned that the hard way. I've learned a lot of lessons along this journey. But I was there because I vote in Puerto Rico. I vote. And it was not convenient. I don't talk about money very often, but I probably broke a record having spent more money than anyone to cast my vote. Mm-hmm. To get there last night, to be there this morning, to be back here today is not convenient, but it's important. And I didn't want to cast my vote with an absentee ballot, not to criticize that, but as a business person, I want to have all the information before I make my decision. And so it was an expensive vote, but my vote is priceless. As is all of our votes, this incredible privilege, this right we have to vote, to choose that government, that system that governs over us. No vote is a wasted vote. Every vote matters. Every vote counts. And I pray that we recognize this incredible right that we have to choose that which governs over us. And I hope we choose wisely.
Yeah. Amen. Guys.
And I'm running as an independent candidate because I am not owned by anyone. I am not controlled by a political party. I speak my truth. I act according to my conscience, and my integrity will never, ever be compromised. And I think this country needs more choices. I think we should not be limited to red and blue and left and right. And at this time that we are so polarized, so divided politically, the only path back to unity is going to come from something new, something that acts as a forcing function to bring us back to the table again, something that propels and moves us forward. And I think it's going to be an independent voice. And this is not a criticism of anyone that is in any of the political parties, but I do know that when you are a member of a political party, you don't always get to speak your truth. You have to represent policies you don't believe in. And every time you do that, every time you begin to compromise your integrity, it is a slippery slope. And I hope to support independent candidates, not just myself. I announced I'm running on July 4th, and that announcement was that I'm running not just for 4 months, but 4 years and 4 months. I'm running all the way through. All the way through. In 4 years, yes, all the way through to 2024, all the way through, and not just for me, but for all of you. And I am doing this to support candidates in 2021 and 2022. All of this infrastructure, all of this infrastructure that is being developed to support this is being created for each and every one of you that are prepared to show up in integrity, to stand firm in your principles, your values, your beliefs, to act according to your conscience. Those are the virtues that I seek in candidates. And we are going to be crafting those 10 principles that are those things that make these tools available to you. And then from there to continue to act in your truth.
Amen. Thank you so much.
We've accomplished a lot. We got onto 16 ballots announcing July 4th.
Woo!
I believe I've not seen any information shown otherwise. I think that's a record. And it's not just a record, it's a record in a COVID pandemic year.
4 more years.
That is a high bar.
4 more years.
4 more years.
And so we've accomplished so much. We've gotten endorsements. We got on the ballot in New York.
Yay.
In New York. And I've learned how the system is rigged to prevent candidates like me from being able to run for office.
Right.
In New York, you normally need 15,000 petitions or signatures to get on the ballot. And in April, in the heart of COVID, as New York was getting hit harder than anywhere else in the world, you'd think they maybe would lower that bar. Maybe they allow electronic signatures for these petitions, or at least you do nothing. What did they do? They increased the number to 45,000 to ensure no independent candidates got on the ballot. And not only that, they also made it that if a third party that has ballot access nominates a candidate and they don't receive 2% of the vote, that party is forever disbanded.
Yep.
Our democracy, our democratic process is under threat. I can tell you, I could talk for hours about what I've learned, but in short, to summarize it, as a Democrat or a Republican to run for president, you need 25,000 signatures or petitions. As an independent candidate, you need 700,000. And the bar gets higher and higher. And so I'm so grateful to the Independence Party of New York for taking a risk on us, nominating us, knowing the risk it presents to their political party. Thank you, Frank McKay, and everyone at the Independence Party of New York. Thank you to Hawaii, to the shopping party that also put us on that ballot. Thank you to Christopher Life and the team that created the Independent National Convention and Union. We held the first inaugural Independent National Convention. Thank you to Christina Tobin and Free and Equal for not holding just one open debate so that other voices could be heard, but showing up and holding two so that we were in parity with the major party system, the two-party system. And that's another issue. Don't get me started, but the debates, the commission is hosted and run by the two-party system. The debate shouldn't be controlled by two political parties. It should be a transparent, non-biased system, making sure that every voice that is credible and has a chance at being president is heard. We will continue to challenge this status quo, this system that is preventing voices and candidates that can bring necessary change to the table. We've raised a lot of awareness through this process to issues that were not being addressed, like the importance of technology and the impact it has and will continue to have on our lives and why it's important. We've talked about ideas like universal earned income at a time where technology is going to be replacing tens of millions of jobs. This isn't science fiction. That's happening this decade. These ideas need to be brought forward. We've talked about the US dollar, fiscal policy, things that haven't been discussed in these debates. The US dollar is at risk. It is the foundation of our nation's economy. And it is at risk because of decisions that we're making domestically. Did you know that 22% of every dollar in existence was created this year? These are frightening stats. If something bad were to happen to the dollar's status in the world, it would have very material adverse effects on all of our lives, all of our businesses, and all of our institutions. And the good news is there are things we can do. We do have we have answers to these problems, and we got a lot of problems, and the answer is innovation. The only way out of this mess is going to be to innovate our way out of it, not just with technology, but creative thinking, new ideas, new partnerships. We can do this. There are 21st century solutions to these 21st century problems, but we got to move to a 21st century mindset. I'd like to also give thanks to, obviously, Carla Ballard. Thank you for saying yes. I'd like to also give thanks to the two engagements that happened, to Andy Doe and V. They got engaged yesterday. To my one sibling, my little brother Scott, who got engaged to his boyfriend Ryan. This campaign has had a lot of love in it, and that reflects it. I'd like to give thanks to Todd Shapiro and his team. The media didn't want to deliver any of this message, and Todd made this message heard.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
To Nick Spanos and his team. To Yinny Pearlstein. To Trent Poole, Cara, and everyone on the team that made this got us on those ballots. To Kai, Danielle, Priam, and Eric Willens. To Peter Ruprecht, Eric, Brandon, McKinsey, and Kevin, everyone on the content and production team. To Jacob, Erica, and Dakota on the social media team. To Mufti Erez, Mendy, and everybody on the policy team. I want to give thanks to everyone that has shown up and assisted and guided us along the way. Our electors, everybody that's shown up to every one of these events, every one of you here. We've done some very major things here. This is just the beginning. We have laid the foundation.
Right.
We have begun the process of giving birth to a political movement.
Yes.
I love you all. You helped make this happen. I am so grateful for this opportunity to show up and serve. And the next 4 years, we are going to bring some major change. It's not about me. I'm happy to be president, God willing, janitor, or anything in between.
Yeah.
I think we can find a better job for me than that. But figuratively speaking, that's probably what the job is. We're here to clean things up, here to make things flow. So to the next 4 years, in 4 years, in 4 years, in 4 years,
In 4 years.
in 4 years, in 4 years, in 4 years.
You guys, on behalf of all of us, thank you so much for showing up and being present in spirit. Brock, thank you. I have a little something for you. You know, Brock can just pretty much have anything he really wants, but he's got a little thing about gifts. So I thought I'd give a little gift. And this is a meaningful gift. It's not too fancy schmancy, but I wore it. We went to the Kentucky Derby. And there was something really powerful about this idea of a bridle. You see, these are two circles coming together to run a race. And this, to me, when you asked me, I was scared as hell. I was dealing with a lot, as you know, and fighting the good fight in Philly on the streets, which is what clearly I love to do. But more importantly, the fact that you have courage that you've given to me, I will never forget that. Because you now made a multiracial Black woman stand stronger than I had before. So because of this, we are forever bridled together.
Of course we are. And we're in this. We're in this together.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
Yep.
We are going to have a lot of fun along the way because we can do good things and have a good time doing it. When you are serving your purpose, when you are fulfilling your mission here on earth, guess what? It gets good. It just keeps getting better.
Yeah, amen. Say it. Say it. So we guys have so...
Oh, and I want to make sure to give special thanks. I read through the list a little too quickly. I can't believe I forgot this. I want to give thanks to Eric Lerner, who facilitated that relationship with the Independence Party. We would not be on the ballot in New York if it wasn't for him. We've been friends since I was 15, 16 years old. He's been our state director, working tirelessly to support us. He's here tonight. Thank you again, Eric Lerner.
And I want to say this. My whole team
and William
here.
Benson and
and
Austin,
right?
So many of us. Again, thank you for being part of this dream. Teamwork makes this collective dream work. Absolutely. And all we need is a million dreams.
That's all we need, guys. That's all we need. And champagne. So this is about ready to be Will's moment in a second. We brought out a cake to celebrate this incredible night. It's going to be the first. I want to thank my team for doing an extraordinary job in the Deltas of Howard University. Please say hello, okay? Because you guys showed up and showed out. Thank you so much to the Deltas, and thank you to Ashley.
Let's do this together.
Okay, ready?
All right.
Where would you go?
And remember to make a wish.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
We know the wish. We know the wish. 1, 2, 3. Very cool.
Thank you. And thank you, Ashley and Steve and everyone on Carla's
Steve,
team.
where are you? There you go. So Steve has been with me, as you guys know, side by side. This is my brother's best friend. My brother has worked his butt off to work on different things that we have been trying to share out. He's not with us. He's in my heart. Mallory, who's been posting for me. Thank you guys to my team. You all have been extraordinary, and every single one of you. Thank you for showing up tonight. We're going to have some cake.
And thank you, George.
Thank you, George. Thank you. Thank you. Our production team, oh my gosh, thank you to the production team that's been putting out mad content. You guys, if we missed anybody, no, especially the one sitting right here, Rachel. I want to give you a shout out. Rachel has been making sure we're all booked, and I love you for that. So guys, we're going to have some cake. We do for our team members. I have gifted you guys chair massage. So please make sure, yes, go up to that ashram, to our team, and enjoy. We have two beautiful masseuses that are helping to do chair massage for your shoulders, because it's been a long ride. And then we are going to honor now someone who we have become friends with that has just been absolutely tremendous and been putting on amazing events in New York on behalf of Brock and I. Will Benson. Yes. Thank you, love.
I know y'all was gonna do this. I don't know. Wait, Brock, what you doing? Sitting down. Get over here. All right. So, obviously, you know, I'm very big on spirit. If you guys, most of you know who I am. You know, the Honorable Michael Eric Dyson's beautiful wife is here. Who is also an angel, and obviously Carla. This journey for me has been very interesting, and I'm gonna shout at each and every one of you guys out too, Eric, Learn, and everybody else. But I just want to say a few things. Our relationship has grown really fast, and you know, when I said I had you guys' back, I meant that. And one thing that I've growing up that I've learned is loyalty. Loyalty is everything. It doesn't matter what you have, it matters what's here. You know what I'm saying? And I tend to sit back and watch. I like to sit back and let people talk, and you know, and see where their spirit and their heart is. And I'm very good on discernment, and I have conversations with God on people, and I allow God to lead me, you know. And as a young Black entrepreneur, I've been able to do some amazing things and sit across from amazing people that a lot of people may dream to want to meet and sit down with. But one of the two people that I've dreamed to sit down and have a conversation with are these two beautiful spirits. And one thing that I want to say to both of you, because your journeys, your stories, you're going to keep rewriting them, and they're just beginning tonight. Tonight, this is bigger than the election. We understand the parties that are at hand, but at the end of this, it is about the data that we're going to see to allow us to put together a comprehensive strategy to allow both of you to become great and step into where you're supposed to be. And I'm truly honored. And my team is here, Guy, Kavan, my sister Kyler, Charlton, you know, wherever you guys were, snow, rain, whatever, we did our best. 24-hour notice, 48-hour notice, we did our best. And
You showed up.
You showed up
Absolutely.
majorly.
And we're going to continue to keep showing up. And one of the things that I want to say, and I'm going to turn each individually because I have something to say to you guys separately. And I'm going to first start with my queen here. And I want to just address you first. Your story is very inspiring to a lot of women in this world, white or Black, short or tall. I think that you need to be out there much more. People need to understand who you are, where your heart is, where you are with God in your life, where you are in the universe. A lot of women out here in the world are hurting. They don't know, they don't understand because they've been misled, and they're misleading us as men, young men, because it's the women that lead us.
And so you have a bigger responsibility than being the VP or the running mate. You have a responsibility of being a leader in a community that needs to be led. There are young women that need to know who you are, to feel inspired so they can sit in your shoes one day, because women are very go-getting. They're very go-getting, you know. So I just want to say that I love you. You're an inspiration to me. I respect you. I honor you. And everyone in this room, I think we all second that. We all feel the same way, right? Round of applause. Right? So my conversation with God about you is that he has a lot of plans for you. And a lot of times you may want to give up, but don't ever give up, right?
Thank you.
I don't want you to ever give up. I want you to keep your head high, and God has
Amen.
major plans for you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank
Brock, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, my brother. You're very unique and you're very special. I know what my gift is from God. I have the gift of being able to see around corners. And what that means for me is I have vision. And sometimes when I say something to someone, they may look at me like I'm crazy. But I know my gift. And I know my God. And so when we met and we had our conversation, I knew right away. And the first thing that I said to you, and you were in the room, I said, you may never become president, but there's a place for you. There's a place for you in the White House. There's a place for you in this community, and our community. And I think that was the realest thing I could ever say to you. You know, my background is much different from yours, but we have similarities. You know, I grew up with a single mother who raised us, worked 3 jobs. You know my story. I used to cut yards and stuff for a living when I was a kid. And I never really had those opportunities. But it took somebody who looked like me, that had wealth, for me to believe that I could be somebody when I was young. But you also inspired me. And so now that I'm out of that journey, and I'm amongst some influential people now in my life, you're one of them. I want to say, I love you. And I want to say, thank you. And I know that you're going to inspire a bunch of young little brown and black women and men, white men, young men, women and men, to be great, to go for their dreams. And when they see you, they see themselves. You're not like the rest of it. You're not like the rest. I like to call it anointed. I like to call it aura. I like to call it God's favor. So God has favor over you, and he's protected you. And he's going to continue to protect you as long as you surround yourself with people that have the same intentions as you. And I want to say congratulations. I want to get a Philly with you. Our new name is the Billy Goats.